Hi, you guys. Welcome to Never Feed the Beast. This is the podcast where we challenge toxic systems and cultivate ethical leadership. I'm Dr. Taranda Knight, and today we're digging deep, literally, deep into the soil conditions beneath your leadership. And it's all from my book, The Plant of Leadership, and it's Cultivating Growth in Leadership. You can find it on Amazon, or you can go to my website and click the links for either ebook or the physical book and purchase your copy today. But with that said, what's feeding your growth? What's contaminating it? Let's find out. Let's look at it from the aspect of what are soil conditions in leadership? Okay. And soil is basically foundational, and it's the foundational environment where leadership is planted. But if you're thinking of it from the aspect of a real plant, soil is that environmental foundation for the plant. It's that soil, what you mix up, what nutrients you have in it, right? So let's take a look at some of the experiences that we see in society and within the workplace itself, because these are relevant to how successful we are and what the soil looks like. So in nature, soil determines what grows and how well it grows. So in leadership, soil represents the environment, culture, and system that surrounds you. So if the soil is toxic, that means that it's toxic with things like manipulation, gatekeeping, and systemic inequity. And these things can poison even the most ethical leaders. Healthy soil, on the other hand, nurtures growth, accountability, and innovation. So you're able to speak up, talk about things, process things, and be more successful in the things that you're creating or actually working on. So ask yourself, what kind of soil am I planted in? Is my leadership being nourished, or is it being drained? So this leads us to the hidden layers beneath. Let's go deeper. Soil isn't just surface level. It has layers, some visible, some buried. In leadership, these layers include organizational history, unspoken norms, power dynamics, and unresolved trauma. So you may be leading in a space where the soil has been contaminated for decades. And unless you address what's beneath, your leadership will always be reactive instead of transformative. So in my book, I share a case study of a behavioral health director who inherited a department with deep-rooted dysfunction. She tried to implement change, but soil rejected her. Why? Because she hadn't yet unearthed the buried resistance. Now, let's talk about soil testing. Soil testing happens with a leadership assessment. Just like gardeners test soil before planting, ethical leaders must assess their environment. Here are 3 questions to help you test your leadership soil today. What values are rewarded here, and which are punished? Second, who holds invisible power, and how is it used? And then third, what historical wounds still shape today's decisions? So these questions aren't easy, but they're necessary, because leadership isn't just about growing, it's about knowing where you're growing. So let's take a look at personal reflection. So I've lived in places where soil was so toxic, I began to question my own roots. And that tends to happen to us many times when we're in leadership based roles. And so, what was the actual problem? You can't grow ethically in soil that rewards exploitation. That's when I started trying to bloom in broken ground and started creating new soil. And that's where Never Fed the Beast is all about. The book excerpt is just a teaser of a plan of leadership, and the actual chapter here is the first chapter, and it's found to break down the actual soil dynamic of the types of leadership from clay-like rigidity to sandy instability. And it also includes the APA cited research, organizational culture, and leadership trauma. So you'll find tools to assess your soil, case studies to reflect on, and strategies to either recondition or replant your leadership. Think about this, because this is a lot of information in a short period of time. In today's episode, I want you to go back and listen again to the questions posed. If something resonates with you, I invite you to go ahead and read the full book, The Plant of Leadership, and it's Cultivating Ethical Growth in Leadership. The actual book cover is The Plant of Leadership, Cultivating Ethical Growth in Times of Adversity. And it's available on Kindle and through Amazon in paperback as well, that you can order and have shipped to your home. And if you're ready to go deeper, join my 8-week certification course for higher education, behavioral healthcare leadership, and actually sign up for or get yourself, an appointment today, because that includes all the books plus the actual journal and the app and the platform that's HIPAA protected to make sure that, the things we talk about is kept private. So I use this book as a foundation going forward as we dig into the soil together, which is what we're talking about today. Go ahead and visit my site at www.virtuallyrenownedconsultingaccessllc.org to learn more. And of course, I have enjoyed this short time with you guys, and definitely listen to this again so you can evaluate your soil. What does your soil look like? Because guess what? Some soil looks good, but it's not filled with nutrients to help it grow. Be accountable and actually produce things that are good. All right. So we're trying to produce the goodness from the soil. In order to do that, we have to evaluate our own soil, what's impacting it from the environment. Because of course, if acid rain fell, guess what? The plants die. And the acid rain is actually organizational structure, their policies, their procedures, those thought processes and things that are implemented every day that in leadership you have to take on. So thanks for listening to Never Feed the Beast. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok at VRCA by Dr. Knight for daily insights, and share this episode with someone whose leadership deserves better soil. And until next time, keep growing, keep leading, and hashtag never feed the beast. And I commend those of you that never fed the beast. All right, you guys, take care.